Hello everyone, welcome to Gene Key or Gate 20, to which we will be transiting from May 22nd to May 27th, 2023. Before I start, I am putting it out there to see if any of you would be interested in doing a live, which would be recorded and then saved on YouTube, guided visualization around working with the shadow and the gift and the siddhi of these gene keys. This is how I personally work with them. I work with them in many ways. I'm a 3/5 line, so I have lots of different ways that I like to play, but one of my favorite ways is through guided or my own individual journeys with these gene keys and gates. And what I also love to do is support people to through guided visualizations to reconnect to the heart and the answers for themselves within around this theme. So if this is something that interests you, please drop a comment and let me know. So let's dive into gate 20. This gate is in the throat, and it has 3 connection points: to the sacral via gate 34, to the G center via gate 10, and to the spleen via gate 57. So this is a very powerful gate. It is individual and integration circuitry, which is all about responding with the inner and outer right timing. The quantum name of this gate is the gate of patience, and in traditional language it is metamorphosis. In the I Ching, this is known as contemplation or beholding, and I really like that word beholding because it kind of gives this concept of really, like, if you think of that word behold, I behold something, you're really looking at something with, the sense I get is with like contemplation and reverence and wisdom. And in the I Ching, it talks about the lines, the image of this hexagram 20, as it kind of looks like, if you look at it, it looks like a portal because it's all yin lines, and then there's a yang line, and so it looks like you'd be walking through a gate. And it speaks to when we contemplate, we begin, when we're ready to take action, we deliberately step through a portal where we create for ourselves and inspire others. And so it also calls to us of going, what's worth looking at? Because sometimes not everything is worth looking at. And choose wisely what it is. And it asks the question, what needs to be looked at more deeply? And that wisdom comes from knowing what to look at both inwardly and outwardly. We have so much going on in our world and in ourselves, right? And sometimes it's just a thought that's passing through, but sometimes it's a belief, and beliefs are more powerful than thoughts. If we just have a thought and there's no belief associated to it, we're not going to create from that place. But if there's a thought with a belief associated to it, we create from there. So is there something that needs to be looked at there? Whether it's a new brilliant idea or a belief that's holding us back. Same within the outward world. There's a lot I don't pay attention to in the world. My social media consumption has gone down massively because I felt how much it was just pulling me, and I wasn't looking at the things that mattered. So it's all about becoming wise about what you need to look at. So the transit is highlighting the practice of patience and learning how to wait, and to prepare and watch, but to resist the urge to act too soon before the timing is right, or before what needs to be prepared is prepared, which is basically the timing is right. My partner has this. He's a 3420 manifesting generator, and I see this like desire to move super quick play out. And then as he begins to practice patience and pausing and deliberating, I know I can see how things happen and unfold for him more smoothly. So on the shadow side of this, you will act before the time is right. You won't listen to your own inner guidance. If you're a generator type, that is your sacral. You get a sacral response. If you have emotional authority, you move through your emotional wave. If you're splenic, it's your intuition. You just know. If you are a self-projected projector, you need to talk things out and allow that flow to occur. And if you're a reflector, you need time. So allowing this during this transit to listen to your inner guidance. And on that integrated expression of this gate is you do have a deep trust in your intuition, and you can feel into right timing and know what needs to be done before you get ready. And our world, just on a side note, our world is often, the conditioning is go, 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 make it happen, make it happen, make it happen, right? Nike, just do it. And that's never worked for me. I have tried. It never works for me. And I mean, I'm a projector, an energy projector, so I have a defined root, for which I'm very grateful of my defined root, and splenic. And I have, over the last 5 years, really tapped into knowing what right timing is. And some people will look at me from the outside and they'll be like, what the fuck are you doing? And I have this, it can be challenging when the outside world is saying, you just got to go, you just got to do it, you just got to do it. But if you can tap into your intuition and get a sense of what right timing feels like for you, this transit, and if you have the gate 20, is going to feel a lot more easeful. So Richard Rudd calls this gene key the sacred Om. And he says it's one of the most mystical of the gene keys, and then it's purely existential. So it's difficult to like create something tangible about this. On the shadow side of this gene key, the shadow is called superficiality. And he talks about how this is related to insects who act purely from this instinctual place, right? On the West Coast here in Canada, the ants are all active, and we have these really cool ants close to where I live that live in the forest, and they build I forget what they're called now, thatch ants, I think, and they build these like almost volcano looking homes. And in the winter there's no activity. They are completely dormant, but as soon as the sun shifts and as soon as the light starts warming them up, then they are just buzzing around. And if you watch them, what's happening is they are trying to get as much as they possibly can done in a short period of time, because they are living from a place, a very instinctual, insect being place of needing to survive and reproduce, because that is what will continue their lives and the life of their colony. When we see this in humans, we will see blind activity just for the sake of activity. A doingness just because there's all of this energy and you feel like you need to get something done. And when you combine that doingness with our intelligent brains, it becomes this whirlwind of trying to force things to happen or get things done from a very linear thinking place that is disconnected from what is. But it's coming from this instinctual need to survive. And what can happen is you can see this playing out, or see this playing out from yourself as a disconnection from your experience, a disconnection from your soul, your intuitive self, or hectic, being like bzz, buzzy, like I gotta move all the time. Okay. So the journey to this gift is first to let go of your thinking mind as the authority of decision making. Your thinking mind does not know what's right for you. Only your intuition and your physical body know what's right. Your thinking mind can give you brilliant ideas and can help you create plans, but it's in the experience of being in the now moment that you move to the gift. And there is no, well, I guess there's a technique. The technique that I would suggest for this, because there's also no technique, but it's just to be present in each present moment. And I'm doing a practice right now with Lori Ladd that is simply practicing I am aware of. So in every moment, you just say to you bring awareness. What am I aware of right now? Oh, okay. And then you let it go. I am aware of that I feel like my breathing is kind of shallow. Okay, cool. I'm aware that I just took a big breath because I noticed my breathing was shallow. I am aware that I have quite a busy day today, and I know I'm doing my best to both manage my energy and get the things done that I want to get done. Right? So you bring awareness by simply saying to yourself, I am aware of. When you're eating breakfast, you can say, I am aware of. So this will help journey you to the gift of self-assurance. And self-assurance is like, I visualize it in my mind, like surrendering to the present moment as if you were in a river and you just said, okay, flow, I will move with you. And you point your feet downstream and you allow the flow of life or the river to take you. And it's here where decisions are made for you without needing to agonize over them. The mind is always writing pros and cons lists, right? The mind is always running through so many different scenarios in your head, in itself, to try to make the right decision. But when you can surrender to the flow of life, these decisions become simple because it's almost like they're made in the moment and there is no other choice. You just know. And this gift is where we begin to stop worrying about life, stop worrying about what is in the future. And this is a really challenging concept for the mind to understand. And I practice this often in a way of, because we do future plan. It's not about not future planning, but it's about consistently coming back to the now. So I am in the process of planning something quite big for myself in my life. And so it's like I go out and I think about it, and then it's like, okay, now I come back. Right? And that's where the practice of I am aware of is super duper helpful. And when we do that, we begin to tap into an energy that we are of life. We aren't separate of life. It's not something, we are of the energy of life, of nature, of the Tao, whatever it is that you want to call it. We are of that. There is nothing that separates us from that. So in this siddhi, the siddhi is called presence. And that is also where you can use I am aware of. It's a deep relaxation into life. I have probably felt this most when I'm in the forest. When it's like I start to breathe and I can feel the trees breathing and I'm breathing with life, right? And it's about becoming the observer of your experience. So it's like you create a separation. It's like this is what you're experiencing, and then you create this separation and you see yourself, you observe what you're experiencing. And it's definitely feels freeing, I would say. I'm not there all the time. Believe me, I am not there all the time. And when you can practice just that awareness, I am aware of, right? Or I am noticing, right? You're noticing, right? It's like, what does just going back up my notes, right? It's like the I Ching, you're beholding. What are you beholding right now? What are you watching yourself do? Right? All right. Well, I hope that was helpful. Drop a comment if you like. I love hearing from all of you. And like, share, subscribe if you feel called, and wishing you a beautiful day.